I lyrical
Master.
Play body so make you I can't ask it if you been you. Say my journey, Tina get I say my jamo. And yes I know money, the more I get you. And you love the more I get you.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa. Sktv, the best in Mama Liberia. Must hold by the lofa and grandmother.
And I didn't ya to money, and I said ya to money, and I couldn't play ya to money, and I could do ya to money, and I didn't ya to money, and I said ya to money. And I couldn't play ya to money, and I could do ya to money. And I forget now ya to money. That's the TV. And I forget it now. Cause you work on my ya to money. Yeah. Oh.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa. Sktv, the best in Mama Liberia. Must hold by the lofa and grandmother.
There are things we can do. We bring in good news and we give it to you. We talking for podcasts and connecting people and culture from here and outside of the globe. Qualified people who waiting to sell. The flesh, the time and the efforts are rare. The broadcast we giving are real and the premise my best. To work with my life without fear. From Grandfather Nima to Lufa, from Riverside, River G to Chile, from Grand Crew, Bombing, Kidman, Monster Rider, San to Backwalu, from Maryland, Punk to the Mikey B. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa.
And indeed, Sktv is the best in Liberia. Sktv, we are the best around the world. And for a matter of fact, indeed, we are the best, when it comes to broadcasting and so forth, all of the informations that you need to know. Because guess what? On this platform, you have your right, you have your time, and we give you all the opportunity for you to also speak out on the national issues, especially issues confronting our nations. We have so many things to talk about every time we come here. So sometimes I know some of you feel like, what's going on with Sktv? When I'm listening to Sktv, I mean, I'm not happy. Let me be frank. That how some people look like now in this era. They will follow all of the media institutions in the morning, follow some of the talk shows in the morning, and they wait. By the time it reaches evening time, the days, all of the favorite radio stations, sometimes all of the people following favorite taxi drivers, tricycle, motorcyclists, and the better, all of them, the marketeers and so forth, health workers, school officers, all the people, they tune in because for us, we don't what you may call sugarcoat. For us, we don't. In fact, we don't have time for that because we know now the the country. I don't know what kind of country is this. Well, the game is good. The people, you see, these people, they will call you to go and work. When things come out bad from the public, then they shift the blame on you. So now, dear News Liberia is reporting that they are being accused by the information minister that in fact they were not authorized according to the. Can you imagine though? Oh God, what kind of person that will not be authorized and they will enter your compound? And those of you that even watch that video, God, well, we just share the show, people. Today is Tuesday. Just share the show, man. You will not, man. Just share the show. Maybe we will send money for either your church or your mosque to get permit. Share this show. You don't even know what man. Come here, we'll be baking you again for the share. You share this show, people. Those of you who share, you share. It's possible that you may get money, or you may raise money to get your wife, for you to get your permit. Look at who they protesting again. Oh, they trust people. They say you're too tired. Share the show, people. Today is still Monk will be here very soon. Monk and that of Brother Ali was join us. So that I was saying, yeah, DN News is reporting that the Ministry of, the people, what God be God. When they go for their information briefing and so forth, instead of them telling Liberians, about the progress of our country, some of the things that are going on. Yesterday, we were even reporting yesterday, in fact, through the DW Africa news that in the U.S. government, sending a lot of troops, in fact, army personnel and so forth, into Africa. When they get the platform, instead of informing you about these things, all they care about is just about politics, how to run campaign, how to debunk, how to insult. Now all they can do. It's sweet, they look. So now, when Steve can say it's sweet, some of you can be getting angry. But sometimes I do myself, I'll be joining Steve. Some of you. Because these people that are representing us at that level, at the level of information dissemination, instead of them telling the Liberian people that, yes, this is what's happening. This is how far your government has gone. This is some of the things that your government, in fact, these are some of the challenges they don't care. All they care about is CDC headquarters. We are not coming back. Oh God. Yeah. Anyway, just share the show. Just share the show, my people. We don't got nothing anymore. Nothing to talk about this country anymore at the level of the Ministry of Information, because they are not giving us any kind of more information that we need to know about. The only thing they care about is how to be combative, how to insult. What kind of country is this? I don't get it. Like, you have to respond to everything. Then I mean, you're no need enough for all of you. So that means people they already started campaigning already. Because when you are insulting and you are responding to every little thing that happens, instead of you informing the Liberian people about the forward march of our country, you don't care about that. Oh, DW, I know DW News carried out, oh yeah, because Patrick wanna feed them or 20 years and there about money. So that become like topic. So that your compound Jeremy Pia. Let me ask before we move. Yeah, maybe a lot of people join me. See, maybe are you okay? The team will soon join us. So Jeremy Pia, let me ask. That your compound where fan looking at that. Yeah, I like that bureau. The reason why these guys or these people put themselves in defense or the compounds, anybody that have evil motive, you will always find them into what? Into the kind of situation. But me, remember what I live? Even if you ask the people about me, they will tell you, oh yeah, they may live. I don't have anything against people. Nothing. Even if God bless me tomorrow, I don't see myself living in a compound that some of these people they are living today. So they may compound that you see today. Some of you that have been watching the video or you watch or so forth. See this compound. Is there compound a compound where someone will just easily enter without permission? So to come out and say that DW or DN News, Liberia, they were not authorized. Anyway, these things that they will just pass through with that. So DN News, Liberia, what they posting is and DN News, I like you. They also posted that. That's good. Good. I like that. And let me see. I think Monk is already here. Let me bring Monk on. You have to share the show, people. Today we'll be talking about the permit, the non-permit, and the allegation, because we don't want to come here and say, oh yes, your government has said. So we'll say allegedly, according to the information coming or circulating on the social media, that in the government illegally, permit for religious people, so forth. But again, Mark, my dear brother, good evening and welcome.
What's up, Melbourne? And what's up to the listening audience? Another day to be on Sktv. Hopefully, I'm gonna be here tomorrow, today and tomorrow. God's willing,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
gonna be here. I think I got a live schedule. I'm still working on our summer project. We're getting to the end of the summer, so I'm ramping team up here. I trying to get the numbers right before we can get into business. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
looking at hopefully before the middle part of September. You know, the last day of the summer is September 23rd for us in the US. From June 21st to September 23rd is the official campaign. I mean, season of the summer. So I want to get everything wrapped out here by the end of the summer. And then before heading into the Christmas, then we're ready for business. At least we should be able to rock and roll and get some proceeds and some numbers coming in. So it's great to be here. I'm still working religiously behind the scene. I'm not doing too many activity. I'm in total confinement and solitude, but that's okay. You got to pay the price to be the boss. So I'm working. I'm getting my hands dirty so I can meet Mandela. But I'm great. I'm doing okay. Share the show, please. I mean, we still.
Yeah, man. I need to hit almost 200 to 400 people. Those of you who just joining, yeah, please let's share the show. Where is Yumuntu Asado Mensa, Tim
Oh,
David,
she's number
Edward
one when it
Brocious,
comes to sharing
Asata
anything.
O'Dawson? Just share the show for us. Yes, Siniki Traore. Look, just send the show in their chat rooms because they always mention us.
Yeah,
Just
in the
send it
chat
in
room, in
there.
the various group. I think I shared the various group. I think
Thank
the
you. Share it to various groups.
send it
Share
to
it to the chat room.
individual.
Send it on. That's the fact. But yesterday was Monday, and you were not around. But we were talking about, you know, the health setters and so forth on yesterday. But I guess you were following, and if so, what's some of the things quickly before on today's topic, because today's topic already will be based on the religious issues. The government allegedly, in fact, they are alleged plaint on about the permit for our religious people. That will be our discussion for today, even though we have a wide range of issues to talk about. But what say you about the entire issue about health, JFK, and so forth? Mark?
Hello.
Yes, I'm getting my dear brother. Go ahead.
I think in Liberia, one thing is everybody knows the problem. The problem is the solution, and how are you going to prioritize the solution? Because almost like we got a fire brigade mentality, that disaster must first strike before people can start looking for solution. And whether it's healthcare, whether it's education, whether it's infrastructure, road development, economies, and the job, there are a host of problems, and every embryo or fetus in the mother's womb can narrate Liberia's problem. But the question is, are we working towards the solution, and how are you prioritizing the solution? Because you cannot do everything at once. That's why from the beginning I said every president come to power with a vision and a goal, because you cannot solve the country's problem, but there are certain things you can put all your energy into and your focus into so that you can get result. That's how president build legacy. Even in the great United States, every president is responsible for one major legislation that he's going to champion, that when he leave public and say, oh, it was because of this president that we got this, and that's how it is. But in the case of Liberia, it's just here and there. And the one thing is, the people who are being affected the most, they could care less. They are so consuming the politics, so they are not capable of identifying things that is common to everyone, irrespective of your political party or your political leader. And that's where the problem is. We live in a social media generation. People cannot even concentrate for 30 seconds. Everybody looking for the next trending news. Yesterday, I think I saw some video of a woman giving birth at a Redemption Hospital on the streets, and people just, I don't know, man. I don't think at this stage we are out there working. I think we like a fifth work on you. Maybe we're in this day and age. Or woman, when it comes to Africa and our tradition and our respect for women, you don't even want to see women naked in public. Let's talk about a woman giving birth in the open, and people, hundreds of people surrounding her. Look, it's hard to say, but let me stop there for now, brother. I hate talking too much. I'm taking a break.
Yes, indeed, Mark. For my fact, you are quite correct. These are things that our people go through, and even like yesterday, we were also talking about the Lapa. Let me tell you, when you hear about Lapa Bido, it's not only about the Kobo shop. Some of you, so you hear about Lapa Bido, you just think about they have Lapa Bido clinic. They have Lapa, and that's true. They have Lapa Bido have places and so forth. Because some of our people, they feel that they don't have the money that sometimes they got. Because when you go to the government health or facility or so forth, the money they charge. Sometimes somebody thinking, okay, yes, let me go with a 4,000 or maybe with a 5,000. Only for the person to go and it have 4,000 or 5,000 finished in the hand, they don't even have transport. You got to see data. To even see data more, they say $200. Somebody called us yesterday and they were saying. So I don't get it, Monk. Let me ask you this question, and all of you who are watching, and they're also from the US or maybe from around the world, want to see a data. Which one should Mayborn do? Should I go to the lab and know exactly what's happening to me? Or should I go and see a data like that? How can this thing now become like you got to see data?
You asking me concerning what? The availability of care or what? What are you trying to say?
Yes, I'm asking you about the issue of seeing data because most of our people they complain that even if you go to the government facility, you have to pay $20 for the see data. So I'm asking you, which one should I do as a person? Should I go to the lab and know exactly what's happening to me? Or should I just go straight to the data and see the data and pay the $20? Which one is think it is the right thing to do?
Well, in the case of Labrador, a number of healthcare professionals who I believe people in that department will speak about that. But I know that just common routine practice, it all depends the severity of your situation. You can go to a lab for a routine checkup to know exactly because you want to keep track of your own health. That just one thing people don't understand, the doctor is not responsible for your health. He only supervising helping you maintain your own health. Your health is your personal responsibility. You are the one in your body, you the one can feel your body, you the one know exactly what happened to you. And when you start getting some kind of awkward feelings or reaction from your own body, it is your right. And you are forced or it is mandated that you go and do a routine checkup maybe once every 3 months or once every 6 months. But in the case of Labrador, it's hard. We like to get sick before responding to issue. And you don't get sick in the day. Most of the time, the sickness or the disease or virus, it builds up over time before it can knock you down. So you want to make that a practice. But another thing too is the availability of doctors. If you don't have too many doctors, it means you will have fewer medical professionals catering to thousands of people. And in that case, it's become a problem. So at the end of the day, the people with the resources or the finance will be the one that will be having access to those doctors. Because take for example now, you look at a country of 5+ million people, you don't have medical professionals all over the country in abundance. So if you got some kind of emergency situation, who you think is most likely to see a healthcare professional, it will be the people with the money and resources. And if you don't have the money, then your life is at risk because, like I said, it all depends how severe your issue might be. So that's just how it is. It ain't supposed to be that way, but unfortunately, in the case of Labrador, that's just how it is. So that's all I can say about that. But if you can check up the routine checkup, don't think that you're spending money. Look, you don't need to get sick before you can see your doctor. Okay. You gotta be up. You gotta monitor your own body, your own activity, right? Let's assume you somewhere.
But Mom, here is the maybe the quote unquote the questions out of the talking and so forth. Someone is making 150. And for example, a civil servant making 150. And this civil servant have to pay their way to and fro back to work and so forth, right? And the doctor or maybe the health facility is requesting for $20 for you to go and see the doctor. So sometimes not just about the people going to these places, but it's about the amount or the money that been charged. What say you when it comes to that?
Well, maybe I don't know. I'm not in Liberia right now, and I don't know who even set the price limit when it comes to seeing the doctor for an emergency. And I really don't know how it is in the case of Liberia because it's one of the reasons we have higher infant. I mean, how they call it, women giving birth and dying during the process. Because at the end of the day, you don't have that much midwives, and they got people that don't have access to certain medical facility in remote part of the country. These things, they are not magic. They are all system. It's all about where the government try to prioritize. And you got sometimes international partners and donors that will donate funds to these things towards these issues, right? For people who can afford. But in Liberia, Melbourne, it's just about leadership and the people who are in the position of power to just have a plan, to have a system and a structure in place. They got some people or some countries that don't spend that much on healthcare, but they got better health outcome because it's a system that they put in place. You cannot be paying people $150 per month and you expect to get quality service. It's not going to work. If the government can increase, I will keep talking about the budget. If you can increase civil servant, the policeman, the firefighter, the military man, the midwife, the doctor, the nurse, these are the people that create real value in society. Those are the folks that you must prioritize in your budget. But if you cannot, then who is going to become the victim? The citizen themselves. because giving birth is a life and death situation.
Oh yes.
There are certain complications. Why you in some lababido kind of a facility and some kind of complication arises, the baby and the mother life is at risk. That's how we got more women dying just from giving birth now. Giving birth is one of the easiest
That's
things.
because of money, Mark.
Yeah, but because the
most of
system,
it circle around money.
yeah, the risk factor is even higher for the.
So they had to go to I call the Lapabido. So because look, don't get me wrong, they have other good private facilities, but because of 5,000 look too big for some people, Mark. Let me frank, people. Those of you who follow us, $5,000 is like 25 USD. Look too big for some people. 10,000 is like, in fact, you are if I put it low on the head.
Yeah.
Yes. So, God.
If you have high unemployment, and people cannot make ends meet, and you spend all your time and resources just trying to get food to eat, then more than likely, if some medical situation arises out of emergency, you won't be able to respond, or you won't be able to pay for that service. Think about someone in the hinterland or somewhere in the southeast, and they got some kind of birth complication. Why do you think they're going to come out with $25 US in no time? No, they don't have it. So that's why the government step in. That's why you got program. That's why you got investment. This is why we call down payment. This is why they call equal distribution of wealth. When you can give people the basic services. My man, people don't give birth every day. It's a once in a while thing. It's once every 9 months for every mother, right? If the government have facility and people are being well paid, let's say $250 a month on average, right? That's something we can afford. That's something that the budget can support. That's something we can do in all 15 countries or in all major communities, that within an emergency, maybe within the space of 30 minutes, you can get a pregnant woman to a midwife, right? But then it's not magic. It's not rocket science. The only difference in the case of Liberia is not that we are lacking the resources. It's just the allocation and the structure and people following after and making sure that they got access to healthcare. Most especially for women. Women are fee for the most because they are the one taking risks all the time. Every time a woman goes to give birth, it's a 50-50 chance of her own survival. And it's a terrible thing, especially for people, like I say again, especially for people in Leeward County, in the remote part of the country. It's even riskier.
Among this, most of our people, they run to the government facility because they feel that it'll be a little bit cheaper, the government, But Monk, let me frank. There was this accident some time ago. Myself, I was at the run, and the people were talking, oh, yeah, you take the people to the hospital, you carry people. So someone said, no, you don't have by carrying the people to the hospital.
Yeah, the hospital. Which hospital?
Because if you carry the people, now we're going to pay for them.
Yeah. I learned there are some people that are even stuck in.
And that wasn't right.
I learned that there are people in Liberia that are even stuck in healthcare facilities for months, sometimes years, because they cannot even pay their treatment fees to leave. So they are being held hostage. They are prisoners living within the hospital compound. They can't go home because they are still indebted to them. Can you imagine that you come from a traumatic experience or healthcare experience, right? Or some kind of health emergency, and you cannot even go home even after you recover. Think about that.
Even support, Mark, even though that some people, in fact, they even abandon bodies. For example, you carry this person, but they basically you have spent all of your money, everything, the person die. Then the same hospital telling you that you have to pay either 10,000, 15,000, or 20,000 just to take your body. You say, I think nothing there already. I don't even have transport. I don't even have food to eat. Everything, so it's better that let the body just stay there. That's why sometimes some of you can be hearing that, oh yeah, government, or maybe to other JFK, hearing my bodies leaving to other JFK. These are some of the reasons. And more quickly before we transition to international news, what you think going on, Mark? How come all of our government officials, few of them, Mark, are enjoying the wealth of the country? Then the majority of the people continue to struggle. Mark, is that normal, or is the wickedness of our point? Because if you see, most of them now, they're also forming political party. Now I'm hearing about, I know Sir Joseph coming to form. I know what kind of people, I know people against people, what kind of party. What kind of country is this?
Yeah, that's where it's all about. Everybody trying to consolidate power, but everybody is not interested in bringing about the result that are needed to transform the country. And when people say the politicians are wicked, I say, no, they are not wicked. They are just playing to your tune. That's why you settle for. That's why you subscribe to. You don't talk and push about issues that affect you the most. You are mostly interested in an individual or political leader or your political party. So The politicians, they are on. Let me tell you something. Politicians are like turtles. If you cannot move on them, they will keep doing what they keep doing.
Well, yes.
That's just why it is. So I woke up I woke up this morning and ramping through the front page Africa and all the local dailies. I saw about lawmakers suspending the transport management or the whatsoever that been going at the transport ministry. I was like, yeah, because people been standing up. If you stand up, politicians will sit down, and that's just why it is. There is no rocket science. There is no other way to this thing. If you believe in what you believe in, if you stand up, if you take the whole party thing and your political leader thing out of this equation, then you will start seeing things that clearly affects you or your loved one or people in your community. So until then, nothing is going to change. I don't think politicians are wicked. I just think politicians, they are very calculative people. They are very smart. They can read people's nerves. They can read people's emotions, and they will behave just as you allow them to be, or you allow them to behave. I think one politician that said people will only accept things that you keep doing to them. They will continue until they start refusing about what you do to them. That's just what happened in the game of politics. If you cannot stand up, if you cannot put your own interests first, because when it comes to healthcare, when it comes to job, when it comes to education, it knows no party, it knows no political boundary. Everybody will get affected when it comes to drugs, when it comes to security. Someone will come on Sktv when we take a position, we're in, because the only thing I know we are on the radio for, I can tell anyone, thanks to Chairmanability and the crew over there for giving all this platform. The most we can do is to be an advocate. That's my own way I see of making a mark or my own contribution.
But that's the thing I would do. Yeah. Nothing else.
Yeah.
Nothing.
You are not
nothing
under
more,
pressure.
nothing less.
Yeah.
We
You
are
are not under
advocating for our
pressure.
people, for the better life of our people.
Nobody put gun to your throat to change your behavior. We are not here to tell you how to make decisions. We just give you this information. And from the middle, I will keep saying it from the middle, because I don't think, there might be people on SKTV that may be having some political leaning, but the platform as itself, as SKTV platform, I don't think we are beholden to any political leader or political party as an institution on the radio. So for you, the listeners, it's your choice. You can keep doing what you want to keep doing for as long as you want. We can just come and say what we can say. And matter of fact, it's even optional to even accept it or to reject it. Everything in life is about choice and decision making. That's why I don't push on anyone. Anything you believe in, that's what you must do. I think who said that? That Geopolitical prophet.
Yes, indeed. And when you write, let me tell you, that's why when I come here, I always telling them, saying that, in fact, I always say to them, it is a right to vote for whosoever you think that you want to vote for. For me, I'm not here to tell you, vote for A, vote for B, vote for C. No, it's up to you. But again, one of my talking here is that hold these people accountable. Like Mo just stated, when you serve by these people, when they post, some of you, and you comment, yeah, you're doing well. Yes, you are pretending. You know very well that something is burning you inside, but you are pretending because you feel that it is your political party. They are your people. Like for example, more I live from your side. The other group are put it from your side. So because of that, so all you do is to just say what you want to say. No, the more just say the more right.
You know, let me go ahead. End your thought. Then I will just come in and we can transition. Go ahead. End your thought.
All of the backwardness of this country, Monk, it will affect, and it's still affecting everyone. Like one of my friends, Monk, they started yesterday for nearly almost 2 to 3, 4, 5 days. No power. He myself will live in the same community. And you cry. I don't know. And you see, when we're talking, you can say, you're not the one who can talk. Mom, where in this world are you pay for electricity? You are recharging 100% as a citizen who want to do the right thing. Then when you call these guys, they want you to go get them something. If you're not getting something, they will not do your work. Even as that, LEC customer service is very weak. You will be calling until you get tired. Mom, but when it comes to power theft, they are in time. So tell me, are they fighting to change the system, or they are fighting to I don't get it.
You know, I can remember one time, like the instance you just mentioned, right, wherein people try to play defense because for them they calculate everything from the lens of politics. They put their own interest and their own well-being aside, and they focus on the politics. I can remember we were having the discussion with one of my senior brother here, and about the hospital in Bapolu, right? So I told him, I said, the price tag on a hospital they claim to be $30 million. I know it's not even worth to $20 million because people must steal. They think that it's a project that they can leverage. But when you look at healthcare, healthcare is more about professionals. It's about the availability of drugs or equipment that medical professional use or uses. And another thing you look at in healthcare, you need a better facility. But when you got professional, even when you have a facility that's not up to the top, when they get all the tools and all the resources that they need in terms of drugs, the latex glove and all the equipment, they can still give you a better outcome. So I said there are only 15 counties in Liberia. If you were to put $2 million in all 15 counties distributed, right, it will have a greater outcome than putting $30 million in a single hospital way in the middle of the Babalu forest. Matter of fact, Babalu is not that populated. That's one thing you fail to realize. It's not where the vast majority of the population is concentrated. Why would I want to waste 30 million? It's not even a waste, but just from a common sense, you don't even have to be a medical professional to think about that. When you got other hospitals, because we got facilities, but they are short on drugs, they are short on professional staff. You don't have enough doctors. So if I'm giving $30 million, I will distribute that money proportionally based on the population of every county so that I can have better healthcare outcome in all parts of the country. Then to go look at 30 million and waste it in the Babalu forest where I don't even have access to road that is one of the least densely populated counties in the country. It does not make any sense. But guess what? Somebody had to attack because for them, it's all about scoring political points. My political leader, just think about this. You're already having people complaining not getting paid on time. They don't have drugs in the hospital. And you're talking about $30 million. You know what $30 million can do? And you go pull in the Babalu forest? How does that impact someone in money or someone in Cape Town?
Look, my brother, the people, they don't care. Because even the internet alone speaks volume. When you go there, all they do is to either just imagine more, some already back to some of our discussion here. See the Ministry of Information more. What are you really getting from the Ministry of Information? Let me frank between you and myself. What are you really getting? Besides being combative, insulting, nothing else, accusations, and just what? No. So are they campaigning or what really going on? Because I'm very confused. Because instead the Ministry of Information telling us that this story mark on DW Africa News, I don't know whether you saw that story. In fact, yesterday that story went out about U.S. plan to send military into Africa. That's the story they say. U.S. is keeping its African military command, AFRICOM, fully independent foreign Senate approval of AFRICOM's new commander, Air Force General Daphne Addison replaces General Michael Linder and is expected to enforce AFRICOM autonomy. So, and the story is about U.S. to set up a new African military hub to their revival, China and other Russia. Monk, we didn't even hear these stories. We didn't hear the information coming from the Ministry of Information. Nothing. The only thing is just about citizen party accord, insulting, combative, accusing, and so forth. But what say you?
Well, I don't like to concentrate on the big boys because the big boys, they always do what they do. At the 3 countries in the world, I would say 4. I would say there are 4 tigers on the global stage. That the US, that China, that Russia, and the combined effort of the European Union. And that gets all the oil, but the oil about resources, the oil about money, the oil about control and global dominance. So when it comes to creating military bases, there's nothing new. That's all over the world from the Middle East to Africa. The only difference is the more military bases they create in your country or much closer to you, there are higher probabilities for any kind of instability. You don't know what can happen because the thing is, maybe when you understand geopolitics, in order to secure your supply chain or resources, Africa is resource driven, right? You need a military command. You need protection. It's almost like you somewhere in Grenada and there is a diamond mine, and I need that diamond. I must send military personnel to secure the transportation of that diamond to where I want to get it. That's just why the global military bases all around the world is all about. Anywhere they have strategic interest in terms of mineral, they must protect it. They must protect that supply chain to get it over to the West. So for me, it's nothing strange. The only thing is when you want to make your country a military base, just make sure you get a better deal because you're not going to stop it. They will stay establish these bases, and that's just why it is. That's why you see Russia suffering from, or fighting for some influence. China is also building military bases. That's why you see in China where they are doing, they are attaching their loans to how they call it, collateral. And when the collateral are the ones, They want airports and seaport. Why do you think they want airport and seaport? Because they are strategic military institutions. You can bring goods and services out. You can airlift product out of the country, and you can bring military personnel in no time. That's so everybody is not only restricted to America. All the major power players, they all want strategic military installations, and that's just why it is. So it's not going to change. So on the part of your information ministry, now we live in the digital media age. So I don't depend on information ministry. I know how to go out there and fetch information for yourself because I believe there is no need for them anyway. The executive mansion can put their own press releases. So I mean, tell me, I think it's one of the redundant bureaucracy in the Liberian government, that whole information and all this stuff, because we live in the digital age now.
Because government pay these people more, and let's be frank, those of you who are also following, I think the government had to go back to some of this before we transition into our maybe major talking point today about it, religious issues and so forth. But there are some government agencies, ministries, and so forth that are not just necessary. I mean, be frank. Some of these maybe ministries or agencies, like they are just there just for people to be taking salaries and so forth, and they're contributing nothing.
Yeah. And that's why some of us who call ourselves libertarian or conservative, that will believe in limited government. Look, the thing is, the government and the people are literally fighting for resources. That's just why it is. There is something maybe on the called social contract. We, the people, are the one that give certain elected officials the power to govern us, because we all cannot assemble 5 million people cannot go to the executive mansion and govern themselves. And the more money the government uses on herself, the less money flow to the people. And the more money the government flows to the people, the more people pay in taxes. So it makes no goddamn sense for the government to keep growing. It's stupid, because the private sector already exists. Almost anything that the government can do, the private sector can do it. So why you want to be putting more money? Because when you put more money in government, the only thing you will get is a bunch of criminals getting rich overnight. They're not going to do anything better. So anytime that we talk about limited government and shrinking the size of government, if I give you a job maybe on an assignment that only 5 people could do and give me better outcome, why would you want to go and hire 15?
That's the point. The
private sector. The employment should be in the private sector, not in government. Government just an overbloated bureaucracy where lazy people will come and steal your money, because it's the only institution on planet where other people can spend your money legally. That only government can happen. Nowhere in the world can happen. If you were to open a business and make your money will be spent by you. The only institution that is given the authority on the entire planet to spend your money legally is the government. So why, as a common person, you want to sit there for the government to get big and bloated and overloaded? Because at the end of the day, they're only taking from you, the common people. They will only steal more resources and use your money without any supervision. So people want, I want result, I want limited government. The money that the government is generating in the form of taxes should be spent on the people, whether it's research and development, whether it's infrastructure, whether it's education. That's where you'll be spending more money and hiring more people, not in government. Maybe. So I don't blame them.
So that's why our government, in short, Mong is saying that the reason why sometimes, or in fact, the reason why we are not getting any kind of a good result is that because we have all kinds of ministries, agencies, all kinds of things we have here now. Look, we're in this world that information people will just be on party business, party headquarters, CDC, all of the times. Oh, God.
But
so
our people, right? You know, sometimes, I don't know, Stephen here, because he can explain something, he can put in the simplest form than I can ever think or imagine. Let me tell you something. Why you think in the case of Liberia, a country with 5 million people, when you look at our national budget, almost 90% go to recurring expenditure. And the people don't get mad. Yeah? Why you think that will happen? How many people in Liberia you think can get a job in government? We have 5 million plus. You will get less than 50 of the 5,000 people that work in the government, or 60,000 worst case scenario. Why would 90% of your budget? Because like I said, the least you spend on the government, it means more money will flow to you in your community or on projects that will benefit you. But if the government is spending the money on herself, whether it's about their gas slave, whether it's about changing their cars every 3 years, whether it's about giving them, say, traveling allowances and all kind of allowances and putting more money for their generator, how do you think you're going to do any better when the government keeps spending on herself? No. The vast majority of the budget should be spent on public sector investment program. Only a smaller portion to go to the government. But no, in the case of Liberia, everything is goods and services. I don't know whether the whole country, with their all economy, because when you look at our budget, there is no phrase or phrases that are used more than goods and services. And goods and services is just a fancy name telling you that we are stealing from you legally using your money. Because I can interpret goods and services. I don't know what kind of goods and services they are buying or what they are selling.
Yeah. My brother, myself, I even thinking about asking you, or maybe some of our experts out there. Those of you who can also sometimes call you and say, "Oh yeah, you know, maybe you don't want to pray." Look, that's it. That's the thing, my brother. Where in this world are you spending money, and the money that you are spending, no here, no there. The entire government system. Look, so that they will send almost 11 million out to NS. Oh God, Mark, look, yeah, look, I can enjoy the government system. Look, that country interesting. You send 11 million out to NSA to do what?
Yeah, because the NSA cannot be audited. It was scheduled. It was structured that way so they can steal from you legally. Because that way they can send more money and then go get it from behind the scenes. So the NSA, technically in Liberia, is another money laundering entity that was established purposely for politicians to steal from you. And people don't get mad. Look at the budget. How much go to NSA? How many employees work at the NSA in Liberia?
That's it. I want to ask the question. How many persons at that NSA area that every time 10 million, 8 million, 11 million keep going to that entity? For what reason? I don't even get it more. Are we anybody outside of Liberia? Some of us want to know.
No, that's why the women call slush fund. That's why I told you.
Thank you. Sometimes more someone maybe may come with other security implications. So want to know. Whether maybe there's a civil threat, Liberia is fighting some kind of thing. You let us know. Because the money that we're spending, all of the money should have been used for our children. Now school is about to open more. That tomorrow topic there about how people charge, what they do and what they don't do. So you have one entity that collect huge sum of money but do nothing at the Ministry of Health Information. What are you getting from them?
You know, maybe on the last time I was on a Sierra Leone government website and they introduced this concept they call smart government, where they look at the government function, the involvement of technology today and how people literally do their work. So in Sierra Leone, they've been reducing. I think they took that model from Ghana, right? Where they've been slashing the size of government and reducing government employees. So because they know the more that they can cut down on the government spending, the more money they can put back into the people. So they get it, they call it smart government. I think if you were to really sit down and look at all the ministries, all the autonomous agencies, the entire government bureaucracy, you could chop off 30% of the operational government in Liberia. Because it would just mean you will be left with more money rather than one man taking pay and getting the salaries of 40 to 75 individuals that just on ghost name, that don't show up to work. They doesn't show up to work. They are nowhere to be found. Matter of fact, they don't even have a job responsibility on a daily basis to justify what they are making. So why you got it on payroll? Why not just reduce the size of government, cut down some other useless ministry, cut down the workforce and some of their, or how they call it, some of the benefit they receive. So that way you get almost like 25, 30 million that could be spent in the on the people or in the private sector. That's the only way life is going to get better. They got so many programs you can undertake, whether it's in agriculture, whether it's putting more money in healthcare and getting more medical professionals, paying them better wages. That's how you can do this thing. But in the case of Liberia, man, nobody cares, man. The people I don't know whether they don't understand or they just deliberately choose to not pay attention to the things that affect them the most. And at the end of the day, politicians just believe that if we cannot get any resentment, if we cannot get any pushback from the people, then we might as well just keep riding the gravy train and keep making more money and keep getting rich while they keep getting poor. Because for them, the politics is more important than their personal or their individual life. So that's just why it is. Like I said, we'll keep talking on Sktv because we signed up for this. This I don't know we are saying what's happening in the society. You could choose to subscribe to this idea. You don't have to. It's a choice. You can keep playing your politics all you want, but at the end of the day, there are two groups of people directly and indirectly being impacted. You who live in Liberia, I will tell you, we are all Liberians. We will always be Liberian, no matter, because they say once a Liberian, it's always a Liberian. The one thing that I know, the people that are fortunate enough to live in other countries around the world with job, with healthcare, with running water, we will all pay the price, but you will pay a bigger price than we can ever imagine, because you are the one on the front line. You are the one there. You are the one who have to worry about your children's healthcare. And Steve can always say the worst case scenario, everybody in the Western world, they are not rich, but at least the basic services, it is a quarter of them. They have access to this thing. Even the crazy man who fall on the street today, an ambulance will be there in no time to take him to the nearby emergency room. Worst case scenario, they will put you on a helicopter and transport him to a medical facility. Can you say the same for yourself? So when we come here, we talk about national issues. For me, I could care less about the politics. There will always be time for politics. The question is, all the talking we are doing, are you making it an effort to keep putting pressure on elected officials to better the situation in the country so that your life can improve and get better? That's the question. But everything, like I said, about choice decision is up to you.
And more to that, let me just tell you, my dear brother, you know, until when these things come to their, or maybe when they think come close to them, that for example, the Ministry of Transport employees, the reason you see that trouble, or maybe put it here and that because it's affecting them directly.
Yeah,
right
that's it.
Oh God,
that's it. That's the only reason. Because someone is taking over, where they will be getting money from. That's why they see as a threat. Because when you look at the vehicle registration, like it is the only operation that will be bringing in the most cash. So it's impacting them directly. So for them now, that the only reason they are mad. Trust me, how in other take, they was never going to take it this personal. You know?
I don't give up on this country. Just because the transport employees, these things are called the LTMI and so forth, they will be doing. The money just stated. All these things you will not get your cut, some of you. So in making your vest, you're acting like people are we've been talking for you. But today I will say this to all of you out there today for the Ministry of Transport. The reason why you are protesting today is just because these things or what's going to happen is going to affect you directly. So if you no, they don't want power, can't take it. But if there are different place, then you're talking about man, look, people lead the people, you know, the government is working, then monk, we waste our energy and time. You know, look, let's put all jokes aside, right? Sometimes when you see me, sometimes I say yes, mountain, even though he have a own political side, he have the people, maybe that he may support and so forth. But you know, sometimes he say that he post or sometimes he come our way, you know, some of these things make 100% sense. Like for example, so that transition to so many political parties quickly before the religious issues. Mark, what is the never came of all of the political parties?
Try to confuse the voters so that we don't vote on the most important issue. Because one thing is a psychological thing. When people are given too many choices, they don't make better decisions. That's why you want to narrow down your choices. Because take for example, if you are a kid, you live in Bogonjide, right? And you got 45 politicians or political or leaders that came to your district to campaign. How can you even remember the one that came with a better vision when they're almost 45? Let's say Obuaga came there on a Monday, Cummins there on a Tuesday, Chemability there on a Wednesday, Simon Fremont there on Thursday. No, you don't. Even in Great Society, they narrow down the number of political parties, maybe 3 or 4. I'm talking about major political parties. Because if you got 40, if you got 50, then it means you only put a country in a position where we won't even be able to identify better leaders because they get too much on the ballot. Matter of fact, if you walk into a voting booth and you open your ballot paper and the list is almost like a 3-ring banner with political candidate picture all there, how can you make better decisions?
That's not more. Let me tell you today. Thank God for this other point. That's why when you listen to me most of the time here on the video, I'm always saying that these politicians are always corrupting the mind of our people. They're where I was heading to. Where in this country, so you have at least 4 or 5 major political parties.
I think 5 in Liberia case should be the most. 5
on the PK, but you have 22, and they're coming to 29 because Sajuda have I know
the 45. I think they say the 45 now.
Or what kind of a pattern else Sajuda? Oh God. By the way, Mark, let's go to the religious issues. We woke up with the news that the president, or in fact the government, the government of Liberia planning to have our religious people. They said that the government of Liberia to issue operation permit to churches and mosques. That was the information that we got this morning. We've been calling back to back, even within the government circle. I think it's been almost 8 hours, and government hasn't yet debunked this information. So we know there's a saying that, you know, when the people remain silent, that means something is happening behind the scene. But we've been getting lot of inside sources that yes, indeed, the government is planning that all religious people, especially the churches and now the mosques, but even though I know they say Liberia is a secular state, but again, the issue of permit. What say you, Mark? Is it a great thing for us as a nation so that the issue of just people building churches, mosques here and there, so that at least this thing can be restricted? What say you?
Well, I took my position on that issue. I think it's overdue. I support the idea, and I think I even extended it to political parties and if you want to impose a permit or you want to put in place a system when it comes to the faith-based society, then you should also do the same for the political, the political system or the political structure, because you cannot have more than 40 plus parties in the country like Liberia. You cannot turn on every street corner and there's either a church or a mosque. I'm not against religious people. I'm a Bible-believing Christian. I believe in Christ. I believe in my religion. I'm a value voter when it comes to these things. So for me, but there is a limit. And people talk about religious liberty. Yeah, religious liberty, you got freedom. You can make choices. You can observe. I don't care. You can, if you believe that your God is a mountain, yeah, it's a right. It's a constitutional right. It's an inalienable right. The same way you say we got freedom of assembly, you also have freedom of religion. That's why the Constitution meant. It didn't mean that you can just build all over the place with no structure and no system. No. So the government won't be infringing on your right when it comes to that religious liberty or religious freedom, because the government must also put a system in place to control things and regulation. That's just why it is. Everything, even though it's a right, but your right should also be regulated, because where your right ends is where someone else's right begins. That's just how it is. Well, for me, when I look at it from a too critical angle, religious issue is mostly contemptuous in Liberia. It's something that consume the attention of our people. So with all the challenges facing the country, my thing was, why would the government want to take on this? Why would they want to prioritize this issue this topic about issuing permit and putting in place regulations when it comes to churches and more? It is just another distractionary tactic. That's why I thought of it, because I know it's an issue, but it's not the burning issue at the moment in Liberia. I don't think the government have that political capital to be spending on the issue of religious permit when you got issues about drugs and how people protest. Or there is a plain protest concerning say no to drugs. You got the issue about jobs, and you got this thing happening at the transport ministry. You got the infrastructure issue. You got so many things happening in Liberia. So my question is, why would the government try to prioritize this? Because this will bring a bigger confusion in Liberia. When people get used to something, even if it's wrong, it's just part of human nature that when you get used to doing something repeatedly, for someone to just come and take it away from you, it's not going to be an easy thing. There will be fight. There will be chaos in the street. Even though I support the idea, but I'm just thinking, is this, in terms of a priority, is this something that the government want to prioritize at this present moment in time? So we'll wait to see, maybe. That's all I can say for now. This idea came from Sktv. We talk about it on so many occasions. It's nothing new. The one thing I know about Sktv, that's why I keep telling, I told Sekou before so many times, I say, there was a reason why I subscribed to Sktv. People on Sktv, they're not perfect. It means that we know everything here. But I think when it comes to your analysis from my own observation before joining the team, I think you guys can be mostly into an advocated thing or an advocacy or kind of a discussion. And you don't take side often when it comes to issue. Unlike every platform you follow on social media, they got a side. It may not look like that, but when you really pay attention to that conversation, you can tell that they do have a side between the two major institutions. Not just where they can sugarcoat it, they can try to dress it up, but if you can really pay attention to the details, you can know that they're taking your side. And in the case of Sktv, I didn't see it, so I was like, you know what? If I'm going to learn my voice, then I can only subscribe to the Sktv channel. So that's just why it is. I'm all for religious liberty. I'm all for restriction and regulation. I love structures. I love system in place. Just because you have the right to your religion, people can be sleeping and you got 40-day fast going on 12 o'clock at night, when other people must wake up in the morning. Matter of fact, remember when you come to this country, right? The people designate area that you can build churches and more. They got residential area, they got warehouse district. You can't just build church anyway, because people will be sleeping at night. You're in a little tight community in something abroad, and you get one Aladura Omaja ringing bell for 30 days. Can you imagine 40-day prayer? So it means for the next 40 days, you won't even be able to sleep, to rest your body, to go work in the morning. So for me, I believe in regulation. I believe in structure. I want for them to restrict. I want for the pastor to be setting requirement. Even the facility that they go to worship in, There should be a standard. You can be on some tarpaulin in a rainy season and people that because all the things safety issue. Maybe in America everything is even regulated. I'm not saying that Liberia is only part of America in any way, shape, or form, but you can copy after great countries, right? That's how you become better. You copy after the best, and you can put in place certain measure. Maybe you know it can rain heavily in August and September, right? You want to go to a church on a Sunday where you want to tarpaulin? What happens when heavy storm come and that thing collapse?
And most of the 30 second COVID, most of the tarpaulin churches or so forth, they are all break away. Just because maybe
that's what it is.
Look, the same way
the government on this one.
The same way I'm breaking away. The same way some of them breaking away. The same way they look. Oh God, let me look. Africa is interesting. Yeah. Look, we got to read a book for Africa because most of the churches they are all breakaway people. Breakaway churches that you see them around here today. Oh yeah, but you're right. The reason why you see this thing happening today is just because of no law and order. Monk, you're right. I live in a community, maybe free. The church a little bit of distance from me, but monk, it's like the church even live in my compound. Because get sleep. The church, the club, all the entertainment, all the people that they step us 24/7. If you're not the church people doing that thing, at the entertainment center people doing their own. So we just live in a society where people will just do anything in the name of they are serving God. So I think for me, myself, I join you and the rest of the other Liberians and say, yes, I think it'll be better than our government. But then here is the question. That all of our government system been weak times without numbers. Especially when it comes to the issue of security. Because you got to get security, and the only time all of these things will be implemented. So if you don't have security, Monk, how are you going to work with these things? How are you going to implement these things? In fact, you also have some religious people that are also praying for you. How is it going to work? I'm a bit confused because, and a good though, but do you really think that this thing going to work? Or it's just enough political talk?
Yeah, that's how I'm looking at it to be. That's why I told you, or initially before you step up, I said, I don't know if it's another political stunt because it will come with resistance. That religious issue. There are so many, there are thousands of them all over the country. How are you going to enforce these new regulations or this new mandate? Matter of fact, even when people's life is at stake, when it comes to providing security, how many security personnel you have in Liberia to be able to now police churches and mosques all over the country? That's why I asked if this thing is a national policy or is some knee-jerk reaction. The government, why you want to prioritize this now? Even though it's a problem, but I don't think it's a priority with so many things on the president list to do, especially for a man who say he want to run again, he wants to be re-elected. Can you handle this? Because I see potential problem. You got churches all over the community where people been going to look. Let me tell you something. There are certain things you might be right in doing them, but you got to be calculated. And I think the last time we talked about the DEA officer that went into an unknown zone and he got killed because he never did his terrain management. He never did a risk assessment. The question is, if you cannot even respond to petty crimes in the community, how can you enforce regulation for religious or faith-based institutions? Because you got churches everywhere, you got mosques everywhere, you got religious houses everywhere. So, and not only in Monserrado County or Monrovia, because everything is centered around that particular region in the country. I'm talking about all over the country because it's almost like a business. Don't forget.
Yes. The Leeward County. The Leeward County. What's going to happen there when they're not security, for example, in the Maryland County?
Yes.
So you have,
five policemen. Five policemen go shut down or check with almost 200 members. That police board will be looking for death. So this government, I just want you can rethink the strategy. I know because I asked this question. That's why I say, if you want to do this, then extend it to the political arena as well, because they are two of the biggest problems in Liberia. I mean, religion was supposed to keep us in check, but in the case of Africa now, they are becoming an economic burden because people pray for everything, even though God himself don't send manna from the sky. So with all these pastors and clergymen that are weaponizing the gospel to make money, are 100% on board. But if you're not serious for this fight, please don't.
Thank you so much, Monk. So that go for the news. We'll come back. We'll talk more about that. Then at 7:30, we'll talk to our people. Thank you so much, my dear brother. So, folks, if you're just joining us, we're going for the news break. We'll be right back.
We live in RCN News Bulletin at 7. I'm Josh Bowie. In the headlines, the John F. Kennedy Medical Center has denied reports of increased fees for life-saving surgeries and other essential services at the facilities. The head of West African Examination Council in Liberia refutes claims circulating on social media that this year's result will be released on Wednesday, August 6. The Charge Affairs at the United States Embassy in Monrovia reaffirms the U.S. commitment in partnering with Africa in fostering regional stability. And of the Home Fund, the United Nations Food Security has warned that families trapped within the besieged Sudanese city of El Fasher face starvation. Those were the headlines. Now the news in detail. The John F. Kennedy Medical Center has denied reports of increased fees for life-saving surgeries and other essential services at the facility. The hospital in a release clarified that no such decision has been made or approved by the hospital leadership. In an official statement issued Monday, the hospital described the circulating reports as misleading, stemming from an internal proposal by service providers that are still under review and has not received approval from GFK's administration or board. The hospital believes that premature release of the document was done by individuals attempting to tarnish its reputation. Over the past 18 months, GFK leadership, according to the press release, highlighted what it described as unprecedented improvements in the quality of healthcare delivery system. The hospital named increased availability of essential medications, upgraded laboratory and surgical services, and infrastructure improvements, among other achievements. The GFK management said while they recognize the financial challenges facing public hospitals, including GFK, the policy within Liberia's public health system allows the denial of emergency care due to inability to pay. The head of the West African Examination Council in Liberia, Dar Boswas, refuted claims circulating on social media that this year's WAEC results will be released on Wednesday, August 6, describing the information as false and misleading. Speaking during Mika regular press briefing, Boto clarified that release of results follows a formal process that involves submissions to the Ministry of Education and onward transmission to the Office of the President before making any public announcement. Boto further explained that while Liberia is working closely with the Ministry of Information to schedule the official announcement, which is expected before August 15. Meanwhile, he said this year more than 180,000 students sat the exams across Liberia. According to him, the Liberian government covered the exam fees for approximately 53,000 senior high students, candidates, and 23,000 students in the elementary division. The White Boss emphasized the Council's commitment to transparency and urged the public to rely on their own official channels for updates regarding the release of the results. The Charge Affairs at the United States Embassy in Monrovia, Joseph Zemjonik, has reaffirmed the U.S. commitment in partnering with Africa and fostering regional stability. Zemjonik said this partnership will also enhance security and build the foundation for sustainable economic growth across West Africa. Speaking Tuesday at the start of a 3-day West African Logistic Conference, the U.S. Charge Affairs expressed unwavering support on behalf of the U.S. State Department for the initiative, which he said aligns with President Donald Trump's administration objective of strengthening security partnership with African nations. According to him, several U.S. industry leaders are participating to promote their goals through offering a range of top quality equipment and services. He therefore thanked AFRICOM and Armed Forces of Liberia for organizing the conference, stressing that by building a stronger regional network of like-minded nations that are committed to peace and stability will be the best position to counter threats in the region. Also speaking, Defense Minister, retired Brigadier General Geraldine George, said that emphasized that in an era of evolving security challenges, from transitional threat to humanitarian crisis, logistics remains the backbone effective military operation. Madam George disclosed that Liberia as a nation has experienced the transformation power of peacemaking and security sector reform, deeply appreciating the value of partnership, preparedness, and shared expertise. In remarks, the Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of Liberia, Davison Fowler, described the partnership as a milestone achievement for the West African and the continent at large. At the same time, the Deputy Chief of United States Africa Command has observed that this 2025 West Africa Logistic Conference represents a significant step in approaching logistic and security cooperation in West Africa and the rest of the African continent. Ambassador Robert Scott maintained that as the U.S. Africa Command prepares to transition in 2026 from a regionally focused logistic approach to a continent-wide initiative, the conference will set the stage for their growth. The Liberia Airport Authority, in partnership with the Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport, has commenced a series of aviation technical trainings and capacity building workshops for staff of the Roberts International Airport and the joint security and partners of the Liberia International Airport. This initiative will kick off on Tuesday, August 5 at a local hotel in Margibi County is aimed at enhancing the skills and competencies of the Liberia Airport Authority staff and airport workers, paving the way for improved airport operations and customer services. The training is focused on various aspects of airport management, including public safety and security, airport technical operations, emergency management, and human trafficking, among others. During the opening ceremony, Liberia Airports Authority's Managing Director, Jerome Manscourt, expressed his gratitude for the partnership and emphasized the importance of such initiative in transforming Liberia's aviation sector. Facilitators of the training include Ms. Jane Lennon, Alan Roberts Bard, and Joe Brown, Executive Deputy General, Manager, Senior Airport Director, Special Events Manager, respectively, of the Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. The campaigner, McLean Runner, has sounded a strong alliance against G2 Pharmacy, accusing the company of continuing to sell a banned drug, buprenorphine, also known as Marcin, or Spaniard Heavy 0.5%, despite a nationwide suspension. Earlier, that's according to him, the drug was at the center of controversy earlier this year after it was linked to the death of a Liberian teenager. The incident prompted an investigation by the Liberia Medicines and Health Products Regulatory Authority. The board of directors ordered G2 Pharmacy to halt all imports, citing serious violations, including the sale of unlabeled drugs in foreign languages, a direct breach of national pharmaceutical law. The Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia wants President Joseph Boakai to dismiss officials within the executive fund to have remained defiant by refusal to declare their assets, incomes, and liabilities. Center also urged that Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission to ensure that assets declarations are not just kept on the sleeves, but also are timely verified to ensure that the true essence and objectives of the asset declaration process are fully realized. The group expressed dismay that officials at the highest level of government who sworn oath to uphold the laws of Liberia are in gross disregard of the very laws that swore to uphold. Speaking Tuesday at a press conference in Monrovia, Center Executive Director Anasin Miami noted that a significant member of the legislature who are makers of the law are not complying with the laws they made. According to him, a full implementation of the law remains a challenge since President Joseph Boakai appointed Councillor Finlay Kanga to oversee the activities of the office. Main opposition Congress for Democratic Change Secretary General and former Monrovia City Mayor Jefferson Koji is calling for the immediate dismissal of Liberia National Police Inspector General Trevor Gorman. In a social media podcast dated August 4, 2025, Koji accused RG Coleman of fostering a culture of brutality, political loyalty, and public humiliation within the police force. He emphasized that Liberia can no longer tolerate leadership that prioritize image over integrity, cruelty over justice, and politics over the welfare of its citizens. Koji expressed concerns that under Coleman's leadership, the police have transformed into an instrument of fear rather than a protector of public safety. The former mayor of Monrovia City specifically characterized the Liberia National Police press release concerning the July 2022 Newport Street incident as nothing short of a calculated cover-up, an official smokescreen to whitewash brutality, accuse misconduct, and defend the indefensible. Koji further noted that the police, whose statutory responsibility is to protect lives and properties, is now a hot seat of political operatives executing innocent Liberian citizens civilian watch. The National Executive Committee of the Merged Federation of Motorcycles and Tricycle Unions of Liberia has declared a vote of no confidence in its acting president, John Kenyon. The decision, according to the National Executive Committee, follows an extensive deliberation by the National Executive Committee based on well-documented instances such as negligence in the duties, conflict of interest, lack of transparency, unilateral decision-making, among others. The National Executive Committee, through its Vice President for Trade and Commerce, Nato Bafio, alleged that Kenyon, despite holding position in government, continued to transact with public and private entities for its own interests. Montserrat County District 3 Representative and NEMO Executive Director has held a heated debate on the functionality of the Local Government Act. Appearing Tuesday on a local radio show in Monrovia, both men share different views on the effectiveness of the act and proposed changes to improve local governance. During the discussion, Representative Smo Moba raised concerns about the educational qualifications of local leaders serving on county councils. Representative Moba emphasized the need to review the Local Government Act to ensure that those elected or appointed to serve meet certain benchmark. Representative Moba further recommended a revision of the Act to empower citizens to determine their own development priorities rather than having projects imposed on them by individuals. In response, NEBO Executive Director Edwin Jauro argued that the current law does not stipulate any specific educational requirements for individuals serving on county councils. He maintained that the focus should be on community involvement and democratic accountability. Their exchanges highlighted ongoing concerns about decentralization and setting their citizens' participation in local governance. And in foreign, the United Nations Food Agency has warned that families trapped within the besieged Sudanese city of El Fasher face starvation. The World Food Program said it had not been able to deliver food to the city in the Western Darfur region by road more than all year. El Fasher has been surrounded by paramilitary fighters from the Rapid Support Forces for nearly 60 months, determined to seize it from the Sudanese army. To end this news, a recap of our top stories. The John F. Kennedy Medical Center has denied reports of increased fees for life-saving surgeries and other essential services at the facilities. The head of West African Examination Council refutes claims circulating on the social media that this year's results will be released on Wednesday, August 5. The charge affairs at the United States Embassy in Monrovia has reaffirmed the U.S. government's commitment in partnering with Africa in fostering regional stability. And off the home front, the United Nations Food Agency has warned that families trapped within the besieged Sudanese city of El Fasher face starvation. That's RCR News Bulletin at 7. I'm Josh. Good evening.
various impact, and we are live specifically from the Center Street graveyard, where members of the ECOWAS delegation to Liberia is on a revisit. On yesterday, the delegation to Liberia paid a visit to several governmental institutions. One of the institutions, a few of the institutions where the Ministry of Information, the Ministry of Gender, and so forth. And on today, there'll be a visitation to places. For example, this is the first stop. Not example. This is the first stop that will be made on today. The Central Street area, of which they will speak with effective use. Following that, after this, they will also make their way to the King's Grey and there. And after the King's Grey and there, they will also be to the Mountbatten and there as well. This is a one-week visit, and the team of dedication has been led by Bowman County Senator Ellen Metheny Snow.
Well, I think these are some of the highlights from Center Street, where some of our young people, or quote unquote, we call it Zocos, or the disadvantaged youth, and these people, for some of our been talking time, we add numbers that our young people now, they are protection threats, and you can see it for yourself. No, nobody have to tell you. The Zocos, they have sixers, they have all of these things on them. Anytime they can harm you, but again, the society say, let them live with us, like that. That means anything they do, and they take your phone, anything happen, well, that's it. You gotta live with these things. But again, thanks to, I don't know, is that ECOWAS or who them today that were parading? And this team, every time they finish parading the people, they will go. The Zogo now will go back to that mark. If you see that building been around there for nearly, sure, 20 years now. Because I've been around that Center Street. I live on, I live on a bypass for nearly 14 to 15 years. And I've been seeing this very low. Let me show you.
So they are counting out within the city mayor.
Let me mute it. Come on. Yeah. And they've been around for a very long time. And government, I don't know. How come
it needs to be demolished?
Seriously. Because you can also give room to these things. Because you give the people present for them to live. See them. See the life of the future people.
The future of our brother, and people think that the future is going to be great. You see them? And you still hoping that our brother is going to be a better place. It will be well.
And these are people, and guess what, these are people, their mothers, their parents, or their fathers, or their guardian will go to these very churches and tell the man of God to pray for the child. Who they're putting in prayer?
Yeah. I want to go direct intervention in terms of prayer. You even got security forces to even control these people, and you come to close down churches and mosques. How you achieve that?
How you even achieve that?
Yeah.
I like that. So quite you were in flight when we went for the news break. But continue with that. I think you were making a selling point, and yeah. So you're continuing with that point, my brother.
But Melbourne, we don't even have when you look at the security apparatus in Liberia, it's not huge. Whether it's the military, the police, or other or paramilitary officials, right? And you're talking about churches and mosques. You're talking about a problem that is everywhere in all 15 counties. Now, if you cannot even respond to the LDA, just common drugs emergency or criminal emergency, whether it's burglary or theft, why make you think you will have the security personnel needed or the enforcement arm that will be able to address this problem all over the country? That's why I say get another political story or distraction, because I know it will be deadly, it will be contemptuous, because it's all over the country. And I said it before, when people get used to things, you don't just come and take it. We got to do it incrementally, got to do it by steps. Remember, if you're in a community with only one church or mosque, and you've been growing to that church for the past 10, 15 years, and all of a sudden the government just came with no plan, with no blueprint, with no future, with no disaster recovery plan. They say they come to shut down that church. What do you think will happen to the people that will go enforce that law? It will be attacked.
Yes, indeed. Okay. They were made resistance.
And then think about that resistance happening in all 15 countries simultaneously. What do you think will be happening? That total war. It will be worse than 1990.
And say the people, Mark, my skin is creeping because of that video right now.
Yeah.
I can still recall 2003. That's the kind of fearful life that we used to live back then. To see people like this, fear will just be, oh, Mark, let me take the video. So, go ahead, my brother. Go ahead. What?
You're talking about World War III. Because I know
Yes.
during 1990 war, it was the war or the action was happening in specific places at a particular given time. Like sometimes they fighting only on Bourgeois Island, sometimes they fighting in Maggibi. But we're talking about on national
2003.
that will
Yes,
lead
2003.
to a total disaster, a total breakdown of society. That even the people in the security, because if the president or the government try to enforce this law, they will only be putting people in law enforcement at risk. Their life will be at risk. And I won't even encourage them to even just go and be part of that stupidity. Because at this stage, except Joseph Boaga wants to tell me that the government have a plan to train another army just to implement that.
Any recommendations?
Another 10,000 or 15,000 personnel. That's
Yes.
the only way.
Any recommendation, Monk, will be making a recommendation for ever so long. Like, for example, all the ways. Try imagine, Monk, the CDC government, quote unquote, they did harmonization, and still someone generator still making 3,000. So what happened if there was no harmonization?
Yeah.
So, Monk, all of the waste, we keep telling our government, all of the waste, try to empower or in fact, add the strength of your security, because Monk, that security can make for country to be strong. Without security, all the thing you're talking today, no. See the young people, Monk. See the young guys. See how they look. See these people. Now, what the police officer that you have, even the strength of the police, even in the national capital, how many police officers we have here today? The only time you see the guys acting like that they are working, maybe when President Boakai is going somewhere, or something happening, or maybe Gregory Common is going somewhere, you see them dressed up in a form and manner and pretending like, oh yes, we have police officer. No. Someone, you are right.
Maybe
Our government, yeah.
Go ahead. I thought you were taking a break, but go ahead.
Yes. So quickly, our government need to add up the strength of the security. Every sector, or in fact, every security place that you think about, whether it's LDEA, like for example, now I'm hearing out of nearly 300 of them that went for the test. I hear about 200, maybe I've been accepted so far. Well, no problem. But you have to add up the strength of the LDEA, the immigration, the police, especially they call it police. You can't have a county, like for example, Nimba County. Then you say you have maybe about 25 police officers or maybe 30 police officers more. Are you serious? So it's like all we do here today in this country is that let's take our lives and give it to politicians. And we give our life to politicians. They use us, they tell us anyhow they want to, and they brainwash us. And they see politicians will tell you that yes, John Brown was the cause why Tina get better. John Brown was this. But Mom, to admit, we are not doing well for ourselves, especially when it comes to the issue of security. Because from what I'm seeing and from what I've been observing, the strength of the security drop. Any guy, they don't care. Even in the army, they will not tell you. But sometimes there's some army personnel that will resign. Some of them will travel. They will lead there and send in their resignation letters and so forth. But again, that's the society I'm saying, my brother. So go ahead.
When it comes to the government, that should be the only place that the government should be hiring like no other, right? Because it's the primary responsibility of any government to protect property, lives, and property from both domestic and international threats. So you got an issue of drugs. You got intel. You got this. You have youth, right? You that going through the whole and the drugs issue is a national crisis. You can't even handle this issue of drug. Why would you want to put religious or faith-based institution into the discussion when the combined forces of all the military and paramilitary organizations cannot even address the problem? I bet you now, if I put the AFL, the police, the LDA, the immigration, all of them in one bucket, they can't even address the issue with mosques and churches right in Monserrado County. Then think about all 15 political subdivisions. How that's going to happen? It's not even possible. Look at the images you are showing here or the image you are showing here. That's the future of the country. And they are everywhere, on every street corner in Liberia. Every community is being impacted. You cannot even address this. And you're telling me that 10, 15 years from now, Liberia will be a better place. No, Liberia can only be worse than what you see here right now because we all don't last forever. That's why you see whenever government make investment, they talk about generational investment because every 20 years they got new people coming on the scene. Those are the folks that will be taking over Liberia. Look at them. And you still think that you can make money from drugs. You don't think about the future of the country.
And more see the leaders dressing far from look, oh God. Jesus.
And the politician the politician believe that they can milk them because at the end of the day they think they can use these people and they are the vast majority of the voters. These are the people that will be making decisions on behalf of the country. Look at them. And people don't understand it. People don't understand the magnitude of the issue of drugs. These are the people that will be deciding the future of Liberia for the next 30 years. See their condition. Because they will vote. You can't stop them from voting. Look at that state of being. Look at their physical appearance. And you think they're going to make better decisions moving forward?
But Mark, to admit to these issues, I think because even the religious people, they are not happy. Let me frank. I don't know how come, but the government herself already don't care. The civil society organizations, quote unquote, the other group of people, everybody talking. But we're happy in making sure that these things, look at our young people, see your own citizens, those of you who are watching. See today, see the future leaders. See people like doing the war. Look, I saw, in fact, I passed through this thing doing the war, World War I, World War II, World War III. Some of you that time, maybe you all stay there. But some of us we saw the kind of more images. We first class we saw. Look, when you hear about, I respect you, and Papa, I respect you, and this and that, and you guys, those young boys, but there's small beginning. They had the AK-47, they had the G3, they have all the guns tracking on them. They used to take drugs. Today, there. All the politicians in the world they brought into the country so that we can fight war to kill each other today. That's the after party. Because I want to call that one after war. Today, where are we? So religious people. Yeah, I think something happened, Mark. I'm not seeing you, so I think you got to. I think your network having issues. I'm seeing, but say okay. I think you got to get out of the entire system, then you'll be able. So you see, so politicians, religious people. Now your own government saying that in fact that you need permit. For me, I support the government 100%. Some of you religious people, you need permit to operate. You need permit because you are even adding insult to injury. That's the fact. In fact, we got videos here that we can play. Senator Prince Johnny said that some of you were into the kind of dubious act. So then we will know now what we're heading to as a nation. Because they take you, they put you on the committee, or the person will call you and say, come and pray, or come and be part of the, the president, religious advisor and so forth. Some of you will be on these boards or so forth. Nothing you will say. What you praying? We praying to? You tell you God like some kind of God, eh? What you lying to? You lying to yourself. One more go ahead, my dear brother. That's the kind of lie we find ourselves in. Thank God that some of you are watching. You see all of them. How many are children down there?
Yeah, none whatsoever. They only come there for the job. They only come there because they think they can reap a political reward. It's a political benefit. They're planting seeds now for future elections. So come election time, these people will remember them, even though some of them had a reason why those kids are on the street. Like I said one time on Facebook, I said the best mathematical formula you could ever learn is the future price you will pay for your present decision. If you are able to project in the future what your decision will cost you, then you are the best mathematician in the world. Because you just didn't mention what President said. Some of them were child soldiers. Some people were, the kids I'm looking at, most of them were not born, I would say, in the 90s, maybe later on in the 90s, because they look very, very young, 20s, maybe early 30s. But some of them, the very few, or the minority of them, I would say they experienced the war. And people use drugs during the war. So that's a cascading effect we are still going through 20, 30 years after. So if this group is going through the issue of drugs addiction and they are homeless and they got all these needs, what do you think will happen to the country 15, 20 years down the road? Because they will be now in the position to make the decision on behalf of the country. Like what I said, they will keep voting in the next 5 or 6 election cycle. So if you are in your 30s and your 40s already, then I can tell you, I can bet that you will not see a better Liberia. Because the thing about better country does not happen overnight. It's about the investment you are making into the future that will tell you how the country will be in the future. But if you are not doing the right thing now, if you already have a national card, look at the kind of man that on the camera already, look at how old they made. They made maybe in 50s.
Oh, yeah.
And you're talking about these people.
You're talking about 1990 war. This one maybe in part of the old I respect you by them. You know, these are kind of a young guy by them that you that gun was drinking on them. You know, and
think about that.
But mom, let me ask you this question. Every time we see our government officials, and in fact, they are acting, in fact, they want to solve the problem, but they are not doing anything. So,
the political stunt. The main thing is a lawmaker, two of them are lawmaker. Why they can draft a national bill to make this thing or prioritizing the budget and even take it from the executive and really get on the street to make sure that this issue about drugs, we can mitigate this issue of drugs or at least minimize it, because this is a national emergency. There's a national security issue happening now in Liberia. This is beyond tipping point, Melbourne. This is just one location. So think about everywhere in the country with people with drug addicts. We're in some big time mess. But Mr. Cannon, welcome to the show. The man show face finally.
Yes, sir. How you doing, man? How's everything?
We're doing great. We thank God for everything, man. We're doing okay.
Melbourne, what's up?
Yeah, Mr. Cannon, I'm fine, but just that, there's already kind of thing. Sometimes you see this thing like, I know you were here during the war. In fact, you can better attest to what happened. You see young people harassing people just because, quote unquote, they were having guns and so forth. But Mr. Cannon, actually, this video really take my mind back. But anyway, good evening and welcome.
Yeah, thank you. I was not planning to come on, but I'm testing something that I can be able to work and still use my computer. So let me see. Let me go back here. Let me see. Just a second. Let me try something real quick. Okay.
Well, yes, indeed. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Cannon. Yes.
You can see me, right?
Yes, I'm seeing you. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So I'll just testing. You guys can continue with the show. Maybe I'll be on tomorrow, and I want to make sure at least I can have some time even while I'm at work. I can take up on the show to talk.
You know, bring the arty been again,
No, man, the thing about it, I tell you when I'm working, I tell you using my phone. When somebody call and then you can just cut me off.
No, you're right. That's the best. Thank you so much. I like that. You know, now I can always tell Steve. I said, Steve, you can be doing RT too. Forget about it too, my job. When the other thing, just be learning about human being behavior and waste of time to think about RT too. But thank you so much, Mr. Cannon.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. Mark, anything before we go to the line quickly to interact with our people? Mark?
Yeah.
Yes.
So what?
Yes. I'm asking what maybe any other thing that you want to say quickly before we go to the line to interact with our people.
Oh, not much. I mean, we can transition to our people. Let's listen to them. I mean, we feed off their responses and their feedback. So let's turn it over to them.
Wonderful. Keep your calls coming 0770203125. That's the number to call. Let me go to our line and take our first caller. David King, good evening.
Good evening to all of the guys out there, Mr. Cannon. Good evening from our side. Now the churches, we're going to have the offering basket, the one for the church, and we'll also have the LRA basket. Similarly with the mosque, we have the LRA basket. In the mosque, we have the Sktv-Lib buses there for the imam and those who take care of the mosque. So somebody say it will not happen. Look, nothing Mr. Baka has said in the country against the people that are not happy. Mr. Baka got out, he declared holiday, fast and prayer. Nobody opposing. So he said, oh, but then I can control the churches. So he came up with it one. Mind you, what he just tried on that day This is the second one that he has put into motion for us to know. Now you talk about the young people who are on drugs. I think drugs are one of the campaign messages that went out there, more especially by the rescue administration. But since the people came to power, the last time I checked, the World Bank came out with a report. They said the proliferation of drugs in the country is even more than ever before. And more young people are taking drugs than the past. And it is true. Today you see our young men, and they are walking in the community with veto bottles, and they got on the car and the pills. They pulling in it and they drinking it. When they try to drink the tea, you will see them, doping, going down like they won't fall, then they will take and stand by.
All right. Thank you so much to this caller. Good evening.
Evening, Mary. I'm Rose Smith from Mount Barclay.
Thank you, Mary, for joining us. Go ahead, my dear.
Yeah, just as I said yesterday, and I told you yesterday, we people I got to see the man, and so they won't win. I went there. I was told to pay for the $50 for lab. So after the lab result, I will have to buy medicine. So all I did, I just came home. Please keep me in prayer. Got the money.
All right. All right. So to this caller, good evening. Hello.
Yeah, good evening to you, Laybon.
Yes, go ahead, my dear. Your name and from where you join us.
My name is Hussein. I'm Hussein Keo. I call from this District 11. So I listen to you guys, and thanks for the giving analysis and consultation your listeners. You know, the fight against drugs is something that everybody have to work towards it. The civil society, the family, and everybody. So I listen to somebody when they say drugs are oversee or overcome. But you're forgetting to know that you have a rehab center. You're forgetting to know there was a man there who was a religious advisor to the former president that was involved in the drugs dealing. So it beholds my imagination when we sometimes want to be dishonest.
So hello. Your president said that he's going to make drug as enemy number one. In fact, he even went ahead by even taking drug test. He's the first president ever to even set that record. So when you come here, don't be comparing him and other people feel already. Granted, that's why he's there. So that moves to yeah. So no,
you're right. So let me say this, Mabel. You know, the fight against drugs, like I said, is everybody's business. Even you like in the media. Mabel, in my community, I walk through the water to come to my community because the motorbike not passing through. I'm in the Florida area, right? Even in the midst of the floor, the guys are still taking in those substances. It belongs to a family. It belongs to a church. It belongs to a mouth. It belongs to our organization.
So the government is responsible, my brother. Don't waste our time. The government is responsible 100%. Hello to this caller. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Yes, go ahead.
My name is Alex. I'm calling for Sktv-Lib. You know, you're talking. You said something just now. Yeah, it's true that the president said drugs will be the #1 enemy, but we cannot absolutely eliminate drugs like that. It's a gradual process. So I don't want the most of they show.
Hello. Hello. Okay, so you don't want to talk. Hello to this caller. Good evening.
Good evening, neighbor, and good evening to your other guests.
Yes, go ahead, my brother.
This better G. Now has to work to come from PGAB tomorrow. You know, some of my friends they mad when I listen to you. I said, no, it's good to listen to radio students get fight. Remember, we know that Libre is just one of the developing country. I mean, do you know that Libre is a developing country compared to America, who is a developed country?
How?
I mean, you know that.
No, I don't know. I'm asking you. Why will you say I know? I don't know. I'm asking how. Don't put me into your community talk now to say, oh yeah, this is that. I don't know.
That community talk. Go to history. Liberia is a developing country. Okay? And you want to compare condition in Lebanon to developed country. Here you are, just quite recently, people are everyone on strike for 4 months pay. But you get a 4 month pay on strike.
So, hello. Say you want to bring that up. So, is there a crime for people to go on strike? No, I'm asking, hello, my young man, because you on the radio, so I don't want you to. I don't want to quote you. Is there a crime for people to strike for their right?
No.
Okay, see you now. Hello, today's caller. Good evening. Yeah, man. What do you? Yeah, my brother. Good evening.
This is Pastor. These guys are really lost. Even when you try to pay for the harm, they jump with politics until they lost everything, including thinking small. So, if one radio station owe you and you put their how is it a crime? How is it a crime?
Well, maybe one person, maybe one say yeah. So what's your concern? What do you concern you? I don't even get it. My brother, go ahead. Come and be with. Because of your governance poor, because of the way your government handle issues. Yeah, man. Well, anyway, I'll respond to that one later on.
I hear somebody say this year that everybody, and you say that they were bringing jobs in the country?
No, they want also forget about that.
I know the jobs that job we have bringing in the country again, so that everybody be saying now. We have because and naive is not on the show.
All right, thank you, my dear brother. Today's caller, quickly. Good evening. Please don't go straight to the issues. Yeah, go ahead. Good evening. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was talking just now.
My man, I'm not here for confrontation. My young man, go to the issue. If you can't discuss the issue, then no call. Hello?
Hello?
Yes. Yeah, but they will find. Thank God.
Thank you for your...
It's not Ministry of Information here. This is not Ministry of Information where you'll be combative. Yeah, we talk sense. If you not come out with to come talk sense, we'll cut you off. Go ahead. Hello? Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm Isa. I joined for this.
Go ahead, Isa.
Yeah, maybe don't be surprised. You should not be surprised or panelists to see people attacking you. I always tell you that most of our people don't know what for them. They will continue to be in political slavery. That political slavery mentality. Politicians just use them. They don't see it through. Maybe what I want to tell you, if government not work for
well, we are not getting you. Isa, change your location. Keep a calls coming 07702031125 or better stay. Those of you I get a WhatsApp line, you can call in. Let me tell you, in fact, we don't even go to the reason why former president we have been voted out. They will bring that up here. Some of you who call in are crying because you use drugs here as number one campaign for you here. Let me tell you, we just looking at you, thinking maybe that you were slime, go free of charge.
Yeah.
Hello, yeah, my dear, good evening, go ahead.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank God.
I'm seeing my according to cannot just go my
yes.
The other time I said that you were laughing. I said the politician had the guy was breathing in their hand. When they came to the office, they can just knock it with stick, and the counter, then they talk. Yeah, everybody say, yeah, you're a fool. That's something that happening in Latvia now. So that was that guy was breathing in your hand. And then we listen. But for me, what I want to tell you tonight, I'm happy for the churches. And if they pray for God to your leader, God your leader, and the leader deal with them. What you here for? They put my play money, they tell them in the country. They tell my man for America there. They tell them they serve in the community. When they ready in the morning, they put it from my phone out. They're not paying for public, they're selling. They're not paying for it. They will hold it from my phone down.
All right. Thank you. Today's caller, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, my dear brother.
Yeah, man. Go ahead, my brother. Go ahead. Your name and from where you join us.
Yeah, my name is Paul Jr. According to Grand Bazaar, you refer this evening.
Yeah, thank you for joining us from Grand Bazaar.
Yeah, I thank you for your topic on the discussion this evening. You know, I thank you also for those who come in with information and they not ask far to it. Going to be cutting it off because they are not going to balance the argument to the point. in Liberian, the Liberian that we're living in, and we are the Liberian people, we don't know what good for us. When good people come always in our heart or seat of the presidency, we always take them from there and bring people that are not able to carry our dream power. Like the Joseph Waka. Confused president like him. Thank you for the discussion.
Hello, today's caller, good evening.
Yeah, I'm Isa Kamal.
Yeah, when I get him, Isa, sorry. Yeah, but go ahead, my brother.
I said, you should not be surprised as a panelist to see people attacking you. Some Liberians don't know what good for them, but I continue to tell you this. You are doing extremely well for the country. You are one of the platforms in this country. You are very credible to admit. Liberians, I don't really know what our people want. Majority of people, when they get some people, they are very sensitive. When they get some people, the way they think, I don't know. My brother, if government don't want for just to be in the country in 2 weeks or 1 month, it will be limited.
Exactly. Exactly.
Or the most of the Asian country, when they catch you with just left-hand replacement, the people don't compromise it. They catch you with just, the people get half for the making, look at, or the crown, or the drug law, the partner. I think when they hold you with drugs, it's going to go to jail for like 20 years or the people compromising it all around the place. Government officials they taking money for drugs, people not seeing all the things. They try to back government officials. Like what I told you, I said we Liberians got to put ourselves together and know we should put the country first. My brother, I always tell you, thank you. We should put the country first.
All right, Isa, thank you so much. Today's caller, good evening.
Yes, good evening.
Yes, go ahead. Your name and from where you join us.
I'm calling from Sktv-Lib.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, you are talking about the joint issue. Since this government began, do you know how many cases this government have won when it comes to the joint business? This government.
So are we discussing government or are we fighting joint? Because I'm not getting some of you. Excuse me, my young man. Some of you, you are set to veer into electoral centers and so forth. If you listen to us, or maybe I don't know how long you've been following us. Did you hear of Akiri? Hello, Mr. Government. Hello. Did you hear us comparing government, or are we talking about the policy maker? How best are they going to get rid of this thing so that the young people can be the way they are all going wayward it is. Which one are you fighting for?
That's what now this government is working on it. They are working. There is a gradual process. It will not happen.
Okay, so that means the previous government, they were not working when you were talking. Yes, good evening, ma'am. Go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon to Morgan, Steve, and Mr. Fonne. I want to tell you, this is my working.
Go ahead.
My son, Romans chapter 12, verse 11. They say, for every evil that made God, the evil will never depart. Those that support evil will not depart from them. Joseph Walker, the key to power, all the evil that is did in this country, they will watch them one by one. Because they never came in the interest of the Nigerian people. They came in their own interest. Can you imagine the person is looking for money, coming to Texas to generate money? All the salary they make it, why they can't bring a salary down? All the money they collect, why they can't bring it down? They say they're looking for money, they want to get this. Let me tell you, my son, therefore, God is not deceived. That's an do not know God is not deceived. God not take up all that you can play. So that's what God said, people in to power with life. I will cancel the devil, I get what happened. That's what I see. That's the beginning of Joseph Baka government.
All right. Thank you so much, man. Today's caller, good evening.
How are you, Mason?
Yes, go ahead. I'm okay, Tango.
All those who talking about the supporting drugs, there are the people on the radio now that are people in the field of drugs.
Seriously?
So they just trying to make it fun. That's why you see them, they just going back to back. These are the people who selling drugs to our children.
I say because I don't see no reason for which. Jesus.
They are the people who selling drugs.
All right, my brother, thank you. Because myself, I am surprised because these Zokos, some of you, the young guys, quote unquote, they can call Zokos. If you go to Viewer Entertainment Center at night, let me tell maybe some of you here, maybe you haven't come across the guys, or maybe their performance. Anytime you see the guy walking, they get seats or they get launched. Maybe you don't know. They have NEF. Sit down there, you be at it, and the government has 20. In fact, let me go to the corner, later on. Hello to this caller. Good evening.
Good evening, neighbor. This is your papa, Maurice Dugley, and I'm calling from Point 4.
Thank you for joining us, Maurice Dugley. Thank you so much. Go ahead.
Neighbor, you said something just like that into my mind. Most of the club now, you see boarding the poor chair or star. If your journalist go and sit down there for 2 hours, you see somebody transacting the drugs business. They're not packed for nothing. They're not getting packed for nothing. Somebody is there that's doing the transaction. Our security, they're not serious in this country, and in fact, we're not serious to fight drugs. I live in slavery for 22 years. Right under the Johnson Street Bridge, go and just patrol there and sit with the guys and telling Lagos. Somebody is there transacting.
But myself, I lived there. Chief, you're right. I lived down there for almost 14 years.
Okay. Go Central Street from normal day. The depot there on Central Street, opposite the depot near the old school there, Zambia, there's a big ghetto. More than 7 ghettos in that place. You think the drug dealers live in heaven, they can show the drug demographic? The drug dealers live with us, they live in community. That's one that the caller was saying, if we are serious to fight drug, we start from the end. The drug part of the barrel border and the airport and the seaport, the drug doesn't come from heaven and just drop. Thank you very much for the program.
Thank you so much, Mark. Maybe our team we can give the time. Those of you, let me tell you, we're not here for your government and I kind of go. It's me for me. I always tell some of you, it's up to you to vote anybody of the choice. You can even go take one on the Zogo and vote for them. That's your right. What I have to do with that? For me, I don't care though. I'm not coming convince you that you say, yeah, vote for them. Vote. No. For me, yeah. As long as I will be on this platform, you will not hear me talking about you voting for anybody. It's up to you. But as long as they're also affecting me, I will talk about it. So those of you who are there who maybe you get into your feelings just because, look, yesterday when you were campaigning, some of you use drugs. Nala, you use the issue of drugs. In fact, Zogos. You are using Zogos as one of your campaign slogan. Oh, what happened today? Even if you win 50 million cases or so many cases, that means drug are finished from the bureau. No. The thing is glaring. You still seeing it. You still seeing the young children have been damaged day and night. Yeah, and they're all. Look, let me tell some of you who talking about how you may call it, the quote-unquote rehabilitation. Do you know how many of these guys have been to the rehabilitation? Someone just called LEC where they few days. The president been to rehabilitation monk for almost 10 times. Oh God! By the way, Monk, go ahead, my brother. Monk. So like I was saying, look, I don't want to call the community and so forth, but that's Zogo. That person been into rehabilitation business for more than 10 times. You don't know.
Yeah, maybe I'm here.
Yes. So go ahead, Monk. Our people, I think you follow and listen. What say you? Why you respond? We gotta go. We got 6 more minutes.
Well, we got 6 more minutes. I don't have that much to say. The one thing that I noticed in Liberia, the reason we don't tackle national crisis and get some positive outcome or result is the fact that nothing is done with the intention of solving societal problem. It is often done with the intent of scoring political points so people can get re-elected. That's why every initiative the government undertaking Liberia will say over the past 12 to 15 years, you can see their outcome. And they will hop from one thing to another. 1 minute you're fighting on corruption, you're fighting on asset recovery, another day it's on drugs, another day people protesting. You cannot make sense of anything from a policy standpoint in Liberia that people can say, you know what, we can feel the impact, we are getting results, it's positive. No, you cannot name one. Because that's all it's done with. Politicians come, they get on camera, they take pictures, lawmakers come, they show. What do you think they are doing it for? Just to score political point. Nobody is interested in solving the problem. And the second thing I noticed in that country, I don't know, like I said, it's always a generational thing. I can remember after the World War group, or we're picking in Liberia, some were never old enough. We have vigilante group, or in every community, people were proactive. People need to buy their sugar, their bread. You see that every community got a checkpoint. They were policing their own community to make sure the community are safe. Can we say the same in Liberia? Because the whole issue of drugs is a national crisis, right? Even the civilians themselves, the people themselves has a role to play in this fight because it's a national crisis. But I don't see any coordination between the LDA, the government, even the local community. Are there any kind of incentive where people can play the role?
Nothing, Mark, nothing.
Nothing. Everything.
Even there is no what we call some kind of a word that for example, those people who can sometimes give the information.
I want to go whistleblower, no? I want to go whistleblower to get tip. You see someone in a strange community or some drug dealer coming in your community and bringing his consignment, you call the authority. That's what they call tip. The government even will get some financial incentive for people to do these things. And you know, because they are in plain clothes, you cannot tell who is who, but guess what? They are watching for the sake of that community. So if I'm in like a carway and somebody bring drugs, or I notice a drug dealer that keep bringing his product or his consignment in my community, no, it becomes my moral responsibility to call the authority, to whistleblow. That's just why it is. But it's not happening. And you think that we're going to get results when the politicians themselves, they're not even interested in the situation happening in Liberia. So at this stage, but like I said, the most important thing in Liberia is people are so submerged into their political thinking and their political leader that anything relating to Liberia could care less, even at their own detriment, whether they are relatives, their nieces and nephews. No, once it's about politics, this group will come and defend what the other one is doing. That's why I say the destruction of Liberia. The more Liberians hunger down into the CDC and Unity Party mentality, that country will be a doom. It will be doomed, and it's already doomed. I don't know how far this doom can extend. That's all I can say for now, my brother.
Thank you so much, my dear. But also those of you who are quote unquote getting into your feelings here and there, let me be frank, whether you like it or not, the issue of drugs, it has nothing to do with just one person. All of us as of citizens, the only difference between we and the government officials is that for them they have security. They go on 24 hours, they have security with them and so forth. But you myself, we have nobody to protect us. That's why some of us, in fact, when we pass through during the war, we know exactly. When we come here with everything from our heart. We don't come here to come be pressing anybody. It's up to you. Some of you who want to press in politicians, well, it's go to Joseph Burger House and be beating drum. Go to Jeremiah Kun House and be beating drum. Go to all of your heroes. Go to the horses and beat drum. It's up to you. But for us, when we come here, we will talk about these things so that our society can get better. And Monk, to the whistleblower issue, my brother, that's the problem. Today, the society today, no more watch team. Even if a community want to stand up, the same government will honor the community because why? Sometimes you hear that, oh, that somebody call us from here and here. One other community member call here. So what kind of country, what kind of society are you living in? Some of you thinking that you're talking. You know what you're talking? Say, I'm about 4 to 5 days, we've been running after ADC business. ADC is there. But when you call them, they want you to do something extra for them. And you know these things. Some of you, in fact, you even look. Some of you I feel sorry. I can really feel sorry for you. Cry, but just because the monk will always say, all you do is because of politics. All you think about is just about politics. Your party. Think about your party though, and let your party control the party. While you continue to struggle in poverty, and things continue to go worst on your own eyes or watch. Anyway, good night to all of you, Monk. Thank you. Thank to all of our fans, our followers, our viewers, and so forth. Thanks to all of you. We'll catch you again tomorrow by the grace of God. Mr. Curran will be here. If possible, Steve will also be here with us tomorrow. So, folks, good night. We got to disagree to agree. That's the beauty of democracy. We see you again tomorrow by the grace of the Almighty God.
There are things we can do. We bring in good news and we give it to you. We judge it for podcast and connecting people and culture from here and up out of the globe. Monitor people who waiting to sell. Blessing that time and the efforts are rest. The project is giving us care and the promise of them. So welcome my life without care.
A lyrical
Master.
Cleverly, so make you again Sktv menu. C'est ma chenille, t'inquiète assez ma gamme. And you know money, et moi yo. And you love
Sktv, the past in Liberia. best in Africa. Sktv, the best in Mama Liberia. Must hold by the lofa and grandbaza.
Ena Guinea ya tumale, ena Salia ya tumale, ena Conakry ya tumale, ena Cote d'Ivoire ya tumale, ena Guinea ya tumale, ena Salia ya tumale, ena Conakry ya tumale, ena Cote d'Ivoire ya tumale, ena Nigeria ya tumale, Sktv, ena Nigeria, tosi wako maya tumale.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa. Sktv, the best in Mama Liberia. Must hold by the lopa and grandbaza.
There are things we can do. We bring in good news and we give it to you. We talking for podcasts and connecting people and culture from here and out part of the globe. Qualified people who waiting to serve. The flesh, the time, and the efforts are rare. The broadcast we giving are real and the premise my best. To work with my life without fear. From Grandfather Nima to Lufa, from Riverside to Raji to Chige, from Grand Crew, Bombing, Cape Mount, Montserrat to San to Backwalu, from Maryland, Bonkan to the Mikey B. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa.